It's the early 2000s. TRL is gospel, CD sales are booming, and two names are battling for the same crown: Usher Raymond and Justin Timberlake. Both were handsome, both could dance, both young enough to make teenage girls scream and old enough to make grown women swoon. But these two weren't equals, not really. While the media loved to pit them against each other, their roads to superstardom couldn't have been more different. Usher was already an R&B prodigy, discovered by L.A. Reid, mentored by Diddy, and signed to a label before he could even drive. He came up through the same system that produced Toni Braxton, TLC, and Outkast. His success wasn't manufactured, it was earned. He had to prove himself to black radio before the mainstream even noticed him. Justin, on the other hand, was born into the pop machine. A mouseketeer at Disney, with blonde curls, perfect teeth, and the kind of charisma that made executives see dollar signs. He didn't have to earn his way into America's living rooms. He was handed the microphone. Same ambition, different system, one built on credibility, the other on access. And when pop and R&B collided in the early 2000s, it created a perfect storm, two artists chasing the same dream, to become the new king of pop. The public framed it like a friendly rivalry, but behind the scenes, it was something bigger. It was about who would define modern masculinity, who could merge rhythm and pop without losing identity, and who could carry Michael Jackson's torch into a new millennium. Usher dropped Confessions in 2004, and it was a cultural earthquake. Yeah, burn, Confessions Part 2. You couldn't escape it. It sold 10 million copies in the US alone, and turned him into a generational voice. The album wasn't just successful, it was defining. It balanced confession and confidence, heartbreak and swagger. It was the rare moment where vulnerability felt powerful. Usher wasn't imitating anyone, he was establishing the standard. He didn't need shock value, his precision was the spectacle. But across the pop world, another prince was rising. Justin had just gone solo with Justified, his breakout from NSYNC. With the Neptunes and Timbaland behind him, he sounded credible for the first time. The white boy with rhythm, borrowing from R&B but selling it to suburbia. Critics adored him. Magazines called him the new Michael Jackson. The label dubbed him the Prince of Pop. Funny how one man built the sound and the other got the title. The same sonic palette, two very different narratives. One was labeled urban crossover. The other was genre-bending genius. It's not that Justin wasn't talented, he was. It's that Usher had been doing this, dancing, producing, mentoring, long before the mainstream decided to care. But America loves a clean, marketable story, and Justin fit the template perfectly. He was the safe version of swagger, the radio-friendly remix of authenticity. For a moment, they both reigned at once. Usher owned the R&B charts. Justin ruled pop radio. Both sold not just songs, but cool. Usher gave you silk shirts, abs, and falsetto runs. Justin gave you tailored suits, synths, and futuristic swagger. Confessions versus FutureSex LoveSounds. Two modern classics, two different energies. Look closely, though, and the difference becomes clear. Usher pushed his genre forward. Justin borrowed from Usher's playbook and remixed it for MTV. Usher was already mentoring new artists, shaping what R&B would become. Justin was still discovering who he was outside of Timbaland's studio. Both brilliant, both ambitious, but only one was building something that would outlive his own fame. When you zoom out, you can see the blueprint forming. Usher was playing chess, Justin was playing charades. By the 2010s, their paths began to diverge. Justin pivoted into acting, then tried to reclaim his throne with the 2020 experience. It was smooth, elegant, and undeniably successful, but also safe. It was an artist returning to formula, not reinventing it. Usher, meanwhile, stayed in the trenches. He dropped club hits like OMG and DJ Got Us Fallen in Love, then flipped to intimate, experimental tracks like Climax. He kept evolving. He chased curiosity, not comfort. And more importantly, he began investing in others, signing Justin Bieber, mentoring Summer Walker, and sitting in the voice chair as an industry elder statesman. He was building an ecosystem, not just a discography. While Usher built a legacy, Justin tried a rebrand. Man of the woods, flannel shirts, campfires, banjo pop. After years of leaning on hip-hop aesthetics and R&B production, his sudden pivot to authentic Americana landed awkwardly. Marketed as growth, it looked more like retreat. Fans didn't buy it. Critics didn't either. The visuals felt staged. The music felt confused. It wasn't the sound of an artist evolving, it was the sound of one hiding. Usher leaned into maturity and fatherhood. Justin leaned into marketing. One aged gracefully. The other looked like he was running from himself. Then came the reckoning. The internet never forgets, and Justin Timberlake's receipts were overdue. Britney's memoir painted him as manipulative and careless. Janet Jackson's Super Bowl story resurfaced, this time with proper context. The golden boy image collapsed under decades of privilege and unaccountability. Every headline felt like déjà vu, another man thriving off women's pain, another celebrity refusing to own it. The culture had shifted. What used to be PR spin was now public record. The same media that once protected him now dissected him, frame by frame, tweet by tweet. Meanwhile, Usher was busy writing his redemption arc in real time. Except it wasn't redemption, it was validation. His Vegas residency became a phenomenon. Clips of him serenading Keke Palmer and Saweetie went viral. He wasn't chasing youth, he was proving timelessness. He leaned into his charisma without apology, and the internet crowned him the last great showman. When Usher took the stage at the 2024 Super Bowl, it felt like balance had finally been restored. Smooth, magnetic, effortless. He reminded the world that charisma doesn't require controversy. While Justin was trending for a mugshot, Usher was trending for a masterpiece. One became a meme, the other became a masterclass. Legacy isn't about who sold more records, it's about who evolved, who mentored, and who mattered. Usher didn't just survive fame, he graduated from it. He moved from heartthrob to Hall of Famer, from performer to patriarch. His fingerprints are everywhere, in Chris Brown's choreography, in The Weeknd's falsetto, in Bieber's entire career. He never needed a public apology tour because he never built his image on exploitation. He owned his missteps, stayed in his lane, and kept building. Justin, meanwhile, has spent the last decade trying to recapture a relevance that used to come effortlessly. Apology statements, PR resets, tours that feel more nostalgic than necessary. He's not a villain, he's just a man who never learned how to evolve beyond his reflection. Fame gave him a funhouse mirror, and he's still staring into it. Usher grew into authenticity. Justin aged into nostalgia, and nostalgia fades. So who's the real Prince of Pop? Maybe neither, because pop royalty isn't about perfection, it's about permanence. It's about what remains when the trends dissolve and the headlines move on. Usher's career is a masterclass in adaptation. He's been in conversation for 3 decades, still headlining, still dancing, still smiling. Justin's career is a study in image, polished, packaged, and delicate. When the image cracks, the myth collapses. Usher turned talent into legacy. Justin turned talent into branding. One built a house, the other built a billboard. And maybe that's the real answer. Usher won not because he chased a crown, but because he earned longevity. He built trust, mentorship, and grace. He didn't need a scandal to trend. He just had to show up and sing. Justin still has talent, but his story is a cautionary tale about what happens when you confuse visibility with value. Fame got him in the door. Character keeps you in the room. Every era has its rivalries. Michael versus Prince, Britney versus Christina, Usher versus Justin. But the true competition was never about who danced better or who had more number ones. It was about who would still matter when the spotlight dimmed. Decades later, one is trending for DUIs and damage control. The other is trending for Super Bowl standing ovations. One's chasing nostalgia. The other is nostalgia done right. So maybe the debate is settled. The so-called Prince of Pop was dethroned long ago by the man who never needed the title in the first place. Usher didn't just outlast Justin Timberlake, he outgrew him. And that, class, is the real story of 2 men, 1 crown, and the quiet victory no one saw coming. I'm the Pop Professor. See you next class.